Okay, so a couple days ago, I went and saw Cocaine Bear.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, and I saw it in theaters. All
Okay.
right, and it was me and Autumn's dad,
Okay.
and we went and saw it together. And this is like I've hung out with him like by myself one time before over 2.5 years,
mm,
right? And this was the other time we were joking around about it when I had dinner with them, and he was like, "Yeah, I kind of want to go see that movie, Cocaine Bear," and I was bewildered by the fact that he said that because just was not expecting my
yeah.
girlfriend's dad to be like, "Yeah, I want to go see Cocaine Bear." He's a very old fashioned guy. Like, was not expecting him to want to go see that. Says that, and I was just, if anything, like word vomit. I was like, "Hell yeah, I'll go."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Wait, are you serious?" And I was like, "Yes, 100%. I swear. Like, if you're for real, let me know."
hmm
He texted Autumn separately and was like, "Was Ben serious about going to see that movie?" And I grabbed her phone and was like, "Absolutely, yes, let's go."
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Vault, the weekly show from Thoughts from the Bench that takes a look back at some of the best and worst jerseys in sports. My name is Smalls, and with me, as always, is Benny Buckets. Benny, how's it going, sir?
I'm having a good day. I'm having a good week, and I love that we finally reached the point of the week where we get to do the show.
Yep.
I'm flying high right now. How about you, dude?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, I feel like the banter it really ramped up my mood. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that I
It's
was
helped set a
struggling.
good tone.
Yeah, not that I was struggling, but now I'm like, all right, no, let's get into it. So no, I'm feeling good, dude. Feeling good. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything we really need to hit on sports wise before we kind of get into this topic. I'm trying to think of like the Pens suck. That's all I really got right
Well,
now.
they've won three in a row.
They have.
We've got three in a row, so we're still. I mean, by the skin of our teeth, hanging on to a wild card spot right
Yeah.
now. So we'll see. I'm hoping the boys turn it on and that we do something. When's the trade deadline, tonight or tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Uh,
yeah, soon.
so we'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
Patty Kane going to the Rangers is huge.
Crazy.
I mean that if anything, it kind of makes sense. But like, I know he's kind of been quiet the last few years, but that's just because the Blackhawks don't really have a team anymore.
Yeah.
But he's like a dog, and if he
Mhm.
can find a role with a team that's already pretty damn good in the Rangers, like they could be a problem. And I hate that as a
Yeah.
Pens fan, but
Mhm.
for the career of Patty Kane, that was probably the best thing that could have happened because, like I said, Blackhawks don't really have a team anymore. The Rangers are a title contender, so I mean,
Yeah.
maybe good for him. Other
Yeah.
than that, Hines Ward got his first head coaching win of the San Antonio Brahmas in the
Let's
XFL. So
go.
hats off to Hines. He lost by a weird like 1 minute sequence in the
Against
first
St.
game.
Louis, yeah, which is
Yeah,
we'll get to that, but yeah,
but
yeah,
pumped for him. Old Hines, no
mm-hmm.
more DUIs, only XFL wins now.
Yep,
So tip of the cap to Hines.
yeah. I have a question for you. Why is Pitt basketball only ranked 25th?
I was really trying to not get into this. Dude, I'm so pissed. Do they deserve to be in the top 25? Absolutely.
Yep.
Am I going to be slightly biased? Absolutely. But if you just look at this year's resume, this year alone, what they have been able to accomplish so far is impressive. How are they number one in the ACC that, may I remind you, has powerhouses like Duke and North Carolina and Virginia in it, okay? That are perennial powerhouses in terms of basketball. Sure, they're having down years, okay? And everybody knows that. Like, Louisville's won like 2 games this year, which is crazy considering who we
Yeah,
grew up with
yeah,
at Louisville. But you have those historical programs that are not having a great year. Pitt is part of the reason for that. I mean, they are dominating the field. Sure, they got like 7 or 8 losses on the year, so it's not like they're pristine. But for God's sake, you got some of these other top programs like Alabama who are losing to chump teams and things like that. Like the SEC schools never impress me. At least if a team is number one in a conference that is a Power Five conference, they've got to be top 15. At least if they're running an entire conference, they've got to be top 15. 25 is kind of a slap in the face, but I hope it's a chip on the shoulder that pushes them forward, because if they continue to finish out the regular season pretty well, they bomb out as long as they get to like the quarterfinal or semifinal, the ACC tournament, they're going to get into the NCAA tournament, and we haven't been able to put them on a bracket in 7 years. It's been 7 or 8 years since they were in the tournament. Do you know? So how old are we now? 26. So since we were 18, we have not been able to put Pitt on a bracket, and I've been filling out brackets forever. I need this to happen. I want it to happen, and they fucking deserve it, man. They are playing good team basketball, and now they need a bit more of a physical presence. They're much more a finesse pass shoot team, but it's been working, and when they're on, they're on. I'm so happy because I love Jeff Capel being one of Coach K's disciples. I'm happy because a lot of people are like, oh, I'll get rid of him. And he got the right guys, turned that program around, has set such a good culture there. I'm so happy that Pitt basketball is relevant again, but it is a bit disrespectful that they're only 25.
It is, dude.
Sorry, I did not mean to go off there, but
I wanted to hear your opinion on that, because like I haven't watched too many games this year for Pitt, but I feel like anytime I see them, it's, hey, they've turned it around. They're number 1, number 2 in the ACC, like for like a while now. I feel like it's not like the last week that they've been top of the conference. They've been on top for a while, it feels like, and
they've been in the top 3 almost since like a month into the season.
Yeah,
they've been top 3 in the ACC.
But I keep looking and I'm like, are they still not ranked? How is this possible? And I look at their wins, and I don't understand how you have teams like Creighton, albeit probably a pretty good team, but they're playing they're in the Big East right now, which sure, good basketball conference, not quite the ACC though.
Well, used to be. Right. The Big East used to be dogs when you had UConn and Pitt and
Syracuse and like all
Syracuse and West Virginia, and like, you know, when Big East teams were like dogs. But it's just it's not really that way anymore. Let's get real with it.
Yeah, but like you have teams like Creighton that are like, they also have I think 7 or 8 losses, but they've been in the top 25 like all year. That's what I don't understand it. But I had to ask you that because on the flip side of it, my boys Penn State they keep choking their season away. Like it was gonna be
dude, because there's points where they're looking close, like they could qualify, and it's been tough.
Anytime we take a step forward, we take 3 steps back. It's crazy. And no joke. We were on a good run, I want to say probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. We get to the fucking Nebraska game. Nebraska their starting lineup looks like they shouldn't touch a Division I court. Like I don't care what conference it is.
Yeah,
like
agreed.
they do not look like they should. They're a bunch of goobers out on the court. Like the one kid looks like so it's this little skinny Asian kid that seriously looks like he's there for math, not basketball. But like I think he put up 30 against us, and like I don't understand. And then like 2 days ago, we go in against Rutgers. We just come off of a big win against Ohio State, and we go into like a must-win game against Rutgers, up 20 points, give the game away. And like the whole time you're watching, I've watched Penn State basketball long enough to know the story. I was like, I have a feeling I know what's gonna happen. We're gonna give this game away, and then slowly but surely, we let Rutgers get back into the game and beat us in the last possession. I mean, we're fucking cursed. I don't know. And then the one year that we were good in 2019, COVID hit. We were a top 15 team in the nation. COVID hit. We couldn't even try our hand in the tournament. I'm so sick of fucking Penn State basketball, dude. Anyway, Benny, you want to do the ad read this week?
Absolutely. You guys know what it is. Marshall Fitness, your one-stop shop for personal training needs. You don't want to leave your house? That's okay. Will's virtual. He will train you over your phone using the MyFitnessPal app and through even just simple basic communication. There's things that you might be hesitant with or you don't know. That's okay. Will's got all the answers. He will work around your schedule, your needs, your goals, your equipment, and gym access and things like that, and tailor a plan specifically to you. Also, meal plans. He goes the whole 9 yards and does everything he needs to as a personal trainer for you. There's nobody I would trust with improving my body than Will Marshall. You should do so too. Check out Marshall Fitness today.
All right, this week's topic brought to you by Marshall Fitness. We're doing XFL.
Let's go.
Pumped. I am pumped. I'm surprised it took this long for us to get to this.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, this was a hard one to pick too because I don't even now the XFL has not been around that long, or there have only been 3 iterations of it. Really, 3 seasons of the XFL.
Yeah, there was like one season way back in the day, 01, I think.
Yep.
And then they did it again like a couple years ago, and and now they brought it back now, and it's like, I hope they can sustain. And I'm a big believer in Dwayne the Rock Johnson, so maybe he'll get this ship steered in the right direction. But we'll see. I mean, he's going to be president eventually, so we gotta see what he can do with the XFL first, and then that's kind of the base layer of like, should we vote for you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think yeah, I mean that's why I would vote for him or not vote for him. It kind of depends on how he does.
If you got the XFL to pin it, if you get any other professional football that isn't the NFL to catch on even a little bit, you deserve some sort of reward.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. Yeah, the XFL it's a fun one because I feel like the history here is definitely something to talk about. Like when you have back in the day, it's Vince McMahon just bringing the XFL out of nowhere, and it's supposed to be like WWE but in professional football terms. You have storylines, you have like the cheerleader commercials, you have all this different shit that is supposed to be like, it's supposed to make it like unlike anything you'd ever seen before, WWE but football. Have you ever seen the old coin tosses that they used to have instead of the coin tosses?
Yeah,
they would do the scrambles.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yes.
And it just didn't turn out that way at all. It was kind of a dud because the football sucked.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of things that they took away from. Like I think Skycam came out of it, which like the NFL uses like every single week now. And that came from like the original XFL. So like there are things that come from the original XFL, and I think there are going to be things that come out of the modern XFL that are going to be instituted in the NFL. It kind of depends on what, but. The rules are definitely interesting. I think the jerseys are definitely something to dive into because they're much, much, much different than what like the traditional NFL look really is.
Right. They look more like uniforms that would have been used for other prisons in the longest yard.
Yep.
That's kind of what I'm getting from them.
Yeah. Or NFL Blitz, which I think we should stream an episode of ourselves playing NFL Blitz at some point.
Dude, it's just mayhem. For those of you who have never played it, look up NFL Blitz. It is just chaos. Like it's barely even football, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's what the XFL could have been. It could have been NFL the Blitz, but it didn't turn out that way.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm excited for this week. So let's dive into it. Benny, what do you got for number 1?
So first one was the second installment of the XFL. Here we've got the Tampa Bay Vipers. I just like this, simply put. Like I really don't even have a lot to say. The green and yellow just kind of works. We've seen it with Oregon, with the country Brazil, whatever. The variations of that do work. I like the logo, the V with like the fangs in there, and then it's very subtle. But if you like really examine it, it kind of looks like snakeskin, like very subtle pattern in the jersey itself. And I like the new school numbers. Just overall, I think it's creative, and it kind of reminds me of like back on Madden when you used to be able to create a
Yep.
team, like this is something that you would come up with. So I
Hmm.
just wanted to put something from the second installment of the XFL on my list. So here it is.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of hard to pull off lime green, but they did it pretty well. Like I think
Yeah.
the combination of the lime green, the darker green, and the yellow just it kind of works because it's clean. The helmet, I think the helmet's fucking beautiful. That
I
V
like it,
logo
dude.
is
I do.
nice. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I don't really know how much more you can really say. It kind of looks cool. Like this is one of
Yeah.
the ones that it's like I think they nailed it, you know.
Yeah. I
Um
agree, dude.
all right, let's get to my first pick. So one this one's kind of I'm let me just say what I got to say.
Well, I think I'm on the same wavelength as you.
Okay.
So go for it.
All right. So I think so I'm going with the newest iteration of the Houston Roughnecks. Um I think that these are so outrageous that I have to immensely enjoy them. The helmets are they just mushroom stamped the Texas flag all over the helmet and just did solid colors. They literally just made it into the Texas flag. The Roughnecks, I think, is a great football name. But the helmet is just so funny and outrageous that this is what I love about the XFL because the XFL, a lot of it is just throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks. And this is a perfect example of that. And one thing I saw just doing a little bit of research today, someone was like, this is essentially the concept for the new Houston helmet. It was just a fishing bobber, like the red and white fishing bobbers. And like it's just so funny that like they rolled this out without even thinking twice. Like, yep, that's it. I think this is hilarious. Like,
Well,
and also,
and the fishing thing makes more sense if
yeah,
anything. Like, yeah, down here in Houston, just a couple roughnecks with our bobbers in the water.
yeah,
Like that's. I mean, okay. Well, I guess I'm not trying to insult the entire population of the city of Houston, but with with that, I'm sure they use a different vernacular. But I I think it is funny to me. The helmet is funny, but I actually kind of like the jerseys.
yeah.
Like
No, the jerseys
I
are clean.
I
Yeah.
and usually I hate. I mean, and I think we're both on a similar wavelength with this, but especially me, I typically hate a faded color,
Yep.
like where one color fades into another
Mhm.
on a jersey. It just
Mhm.
usually looks bad. I kind of dig it like this, and
Yep.
you're gonna catch me with the red, white, and blue. I like that, but I think the red into the blue with the white outline of the numbers, where
Mhm.
it's almost more of like a silhouette with a fade instead of just a sharp fade, makes it look a lot better. And
Yeah.
I kind of dig them, dude. I
Yeah.
do, and I think that paired with the white pants within the accent stripe down the
Yep.
leg is perfectly done. I actually dig these. Just the helmet does make me chuckle a little bit.
Yeah, that I mean, but that's why I love it because it's so outrageous and in your face. Like this is what the
Yeah.
XFL is for, you know?
Oh, they really did. They just said we are Texas
Yeah.
and just clap that shit right on it.
No, yeah, and that what's funny is they I guarantee they were like, "All right, Houston Texans logo. How can we outdo this? Cuz that's already Texas as hell, right?
Yeah, right.
All right, let's
With
just
the
make
big steer
yeah.
into the Texas flag.
Yeah, let's
Right.
just make
Yeah.
literally the entire helmet Texas."
Yeah, and I love that. Like, why weren't we the Pittsburgh Pennsylvanians?
I
Like
don't know.
the Houston Texans? Like, that's just such a like. We are what we are. You don't like it? Get out. Like the Houston Texans is the most just like, yep, version of a mascot or team name I could ever think of in my lifetime.
Yeah. One other I do even though it's not really like a traditional looking uniform, I'm kind of a sucker for numbers on the helmet. I think
I
a
do
lot of
too.
yeah.
I like them.
Yeah.
I can get with that.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Benny, what do you got for pick number 2?
All right, so this is the away uniform for the 2019 rendition XFL of the Seattle Drag. First of all, I mean, I know Dragons is like maybe a bit juvenile, but I think it's a cool logo in a cool creature. Okay, I don't know. I like the allure of the dragon. I like that they kind of based off of what I'm seeing is like a Miami Hurricanes colorway with the green, white, and the orange. I dig it. I think that Miami has some clean looks in their day, and Seattle's trying to pimp off of that a little bit. But I really like the font of the numbers, and I like the white uniform specifically. I think that orange pops off better, and I love the helmet. I think the big bold orange stripe, because I like that shade of orange with the dragon on each side of it, makes it just look for a clean, simple, really cool helmet. And all in all, I just think that these are a cleaner uniform, especially from the 2019 rendition of the XFL. I'm getting a vibe that maybe you don't feel the same, but I personally like these ones.
No, so I definitely, the jerseys themselves I love. Like I think it looks good. It really does. The orange definitely pops. The green is like a good color. If you're gonna go with the dragons, like the green and the orange go well together, I think. Definitely gives me Miami Hurricane vibes for sure. I have no reservations about these whatsoever, because if you're gonna go with the most XFL name of all time for your franchise, lean into it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Put a goddamn dragon.
Heavy lean.
Yeah, put a goddamn dragon on your helmet, dude. Absolutely. Like, lean into it. Go for it. No,
nerds everywhere got into sports because of this team, guaranteed.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, just think about, like, if you and I'll save my XFL story for honorable mentions, but I've been to an XFL game, so I think I kind of get the vibe a little bit. Yeah.
Wait, hit me again. What did you just say?
I've been to an XFL game.
This is breaking ground in our friendship. Why have I never known this?
I'll wait. I'll wait till the end to.
This is history book friendship shit.
I know, dude. I wanted to save it, dude.
XFL game.
I feel like I've definitely told you this before. I feel like I definitely
because that's not a casual fact. That's not something that you just fucking throw out. Like, yeah, I went to an XFL game before. Like, that's crazy.
Is it? I don't know. Whatever, dude.
Yes.
Whatever. I'll get to it. But I've been to. My point is, I've been to a game, and I know the vibe. I think if you were to go to a Seattle Dragons game, I think it would be the funnest day of all time. You would be so into it, because you know that like you're going to a Seattle Dragons game. Saying that out loud is like, all right, this thing has to be rowdy. Like, this is gonna be crazy. Like, there's no other perfect name for an XFL team besides the Seattle Dragons. Like, the Dragons is great. Absolutely.
It just fits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know what Dragons have to do with Seattle. I have no clue. But it doesn't really matter.
No shot.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. All right. All right. Pick number 2 for me. I'm throwing it back a little bit. All right.
Love this, though.
So, this is from the original XFL, 2001, the Memphis Maniacs. Okay. So, yeah, we've already talked about it. The XFL back in the day was kind of ridiculous. You know, they came up with a lot of ridiculous rules, like no fair catches. There's a lot of things that came out of the original XFL that were just absurd. One of them is team names. I mean, you have team names like Hitmen, Outlaws, and then you have the Memphis Maniacs. Notice how on the screen you can see it. They spell Maniacs instead of Maniacs. They spell it Maniax. They make sure that you know that this is the XFL by putting the X at the end of Maniacs. Not only that, they lean into it even further, and instead of making their logo an M or a double M for Memphis Maniacs, or this trippy Frankenstein-looking dude that they have down on the logo, they lean so far into it and make sure that you know that it ends with AX, and they make it their fucking logo on the helmet. That is so absurd and so hilarious that they just took the last 2 letters and just slapped them on there so you know that they're the fucking Maniacs. Hilarious.
it's to me. I mean, congrats on the corporate control there because that's fucking crazy. But like, this is so like I don't know. This is just so XFL. Like
Yeah.
this is exactly, especially back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, this is like made up. Like this is what you see in a movie. Like I'm talking like a bad like C-rate knockoff comedy
Yep.
slapstick film for a football team. Like in the Maniacs with an X. Like I mean, excellent trademarking
Yeah.
because you've obviously got that on lock. But then like you even could play into your logo a bit. The fact that you just had to put the X on there is absolutely hilarious
No,
to
not
me.
even,
So
not even, not even just an X. The
it's
AX.
X, yeah, like what, like the axe is just on the helmet. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I love it for that reason
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah. No, these the colors are also kind of cool on these. I don't know if it's
I
just
dig
the
them a little bit.
yeah. I don't know if it's because you don't really see this shade of teal that often nowadays. It also kind of gives me. You remember those teal Pistons jerseys from like the '90s? This is like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
same
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
color scheme, which is kind of a wild.
Yeah, see, with that teal, the black, and the red, I was thinking kind
Yeah.
of like when they were the Vancouver Grizzlies before the
Mm-hmm.
Memphis
Yeah.
Grizzlies,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they had that where they had like a little accent of red with the teal and the black. I kind of dig that as well. But yeah, dude, it's a cool colorway for sure. But this is just hilariously the definition of what the XFL was supposed to be.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. Like I said, AX, not a double M, not an M, not this weird looking
Just
dude. Yeah, just AX. Oh man, I love it. I love it. All right, Benny, what do you got for your last pick?
all right. So hitting you with some double Viper action. Okay, this is the 2023 edition Vegas Vipers. No longer the Tampa Bay Vipers. Make the move to Vegas, change their color scheme, and this is badass. This is like if you gave for all my nerds out there in the MCU, if you gave Venom and Carnage the creative design responsibility of a football team, this is what happens. That black and red colorway is just black and red were meant to go together, and it's the toughest look in sports potentially. I'm saying potentially, but that's one of the hardest combos. Period. You see somebody coming out in black and red, that's tough as hell. And I love the logo that they kind of kept it pretty similar, but it's cleaner with the red V on the black helmet with the fangs on there is awesome. I love that it says Vipers. I love the font that in the numbers is kind of like we referenced them before, but kind of like the Miami Hurricanes font of what they have on their jerseys. But that being red, popping off that black uniform with the black pants and even the accents like the visor and the red gloves just make this so tough. I'm not really talking about their away one in the back, but this home jersey is like it sets a tone for intimidation walking out on the field of the XFL to meet your opponent and you look like this. That's just a badass uniform.
I think this is like the poster uniform of Under Armour. Like think of like I don't want to say a generic, and not in a bad way, but like this is just like what an Under Armour like like an Under Armour commercial for some random high school football team. This would be something that they would put forward as like their
Yeah.
go-to look. And again, I don't mean that making fun of it. I just mean it's what you would want. It's like what you're trying to portray as like you said, black and red go well together. It's sleek.
Simple.
Yeah,
They didn't tweak it too much. They didn't put
yeah,
in 5 different accent colors. It's black and red.
yeah.
Boom. There you have it.
No, exactly. No, yeah. I don't know what. Do you think that they just have someone from Miami, like, in their marketing department that they keep like? 'Cause that's
Right.
two.
Just kind of pulling things from them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Miami's at least a prolific enough program to where like that kind of makes sense to a point. But it is odd if that was because who knows? Maybe we're just making bold assumptions.
Yeah.
But if that was part of the inspiration, that like a professional league would pull from a collegiate team and not even necessarily a pro team or whatever. But regardless, it works for the Vegas Vipers. I like them.
No, I love them. All right, let's wrap us up. So, I'm going with 2019 Dallas Renegades as my third pick.
All right.
All right, so I believe that they are now the Arlington Renegades, which I think it's kind of weird to switch, but their original look back in 2019 when they brought the league back for the first time, I think is one of the iciest looks that a football team can really have. That powder kind of cool Gatorade-looking blue that they have going on, it looks so good with that black. It's not even funny. The logo, that bandito looks cold as hell on that guy's helmet right there, especially with the little accent with the red eyes on that guy. That is a sick logo. Combine that with just the overall colors. I'm a huge fan of how these look, period. There's something about that helmet. I don't know what it is. I can't really
The helmet's dope.
The helmet's sick. It looks sick. I don't know how. That is the only word that comes to mind. Sick.
So I'm gonna pinch some lemon on this.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Just because you look at the logo and even the design of the uniform, the font of the number, and I'm talking like the way that the shoulder pads are into the torso of the jersey. They kind of would maybe look like they took a lot of uniform elements and logo elements from the fake football team that was the Gotham Rogues in the Dark Knight Rises movie.
Yep.
It kind of looks like the prototype. They just changed the colors. That it's not black and yellow. They just made it this black and teal. Now, do these look sick as shit? Absolutely. But I do think that they potentially got their inspiration from a superhero movie. So not that that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm just trying to attract some relative thoughts to this.
That's a good pick. I didn't put that together. That's actually wow. They really do look alike, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, if you pull up what the uniforms were from that movie, and especially the logo, it's a bandito, and then even the way that it's the black torso with the different color number and the shoulder pads being a different color is similar to the setup of how those uniforms looked in the movie.
Yeah, let me pull these up. Yeah, wow.
And who knows? I didn't look this up. This just came to my head from literally you showing it to me just now, but it's just drawing a lot of flashbacks to that movie.
Dude, that's kind of crazy. It is like spot on. It's very similar. Especially the helmet.
I consider a pro.
Yeah. Right. No, that's kind of wild how close that really is. I'm kind of mind blown right now. Actually, that's a good pickup.
Dude. Thank you. I was hoping that you weren't going to take it as a negative. Like I think of it as a good thing, but just that partially makes these go even harder because I associate them with Batman.
Yeah,
and a movie that was filmed in Pittsburgh.
That's right. Now, yeah, I do think that the black and the blue in this goes harder than the yellow and black that they used.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think, dude, that helmet is flawless to me. And I love this setup. I love the way that light blue pops off of the black. But that helmet is the quintessential, you want to design a helmet that impresses me, that's what you produce.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, just chef's kiss.
Yeah. They didn't even go with like a black helmet. They could have gone black with the helmet. They went with the blue. And I think
that's such a better move.
Yeah.
It's such a better move.
Yeah, 100%. All right, I got 2 honorable mentions. All right, so we got. I had to put him in here somewhere. He Hate Me, from the Las Vegas Outlaws back in the first iteration of the XFL. Back then they could literally the players could put any name they wanted to on the back of their jerseys. I forget the reason that this guy, I forget his name too, but he decided to put the phrase "He hate me." Yeah,
right.
And I think they even asked him why'd you pick that, and I think his explanation was, well, because he hate me, and that's it. Like he didn't give much of an explanation. And it's it's what people remember about that original XFL. I was watching just like little clips just to kind of get ready for the show today of the 30 for 30 they did on the XFL, and one of the guys at one, because they send these questionnaires out like, hey, they send them out to all the teams for all the players to fill out. Do you want any other name displayed on your jersey? And no joke, there was one that came back that said Teabagger. He wanted Teabagger to be printed on the back, which I think would have been hilarious. But he hate me.
What would you put on the back of your XFL jersey?
I don't know, dude. What would you? You're putting me on the spot. What would you put?
Well, I was hoping you would just take the spot. Because I don't know either. I mean, it would definitely be something goofy for sure. Like, I wouldn't take it very seriously, but I'm also nowhere near being a semi-professional football player.
No.
So, I don't know, dude. But he hate me is all time.
Yeah, no, it's all time. I got to think about that.
Donut hole.
What?
Donut hole would be hilarious to see on the back of somebody's jersey.
I'm even thinking, like, what about just like the nickname the Hangman? Just something like outrageous.
See, that's tougher.
Yeah,
that's kind of tough though.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, if I put something like soggy socks on the back of it, imagine getting laid out by a dude named Soggy Socks. Is like, I feel like that's part of it too. Is it's not so much the intimidation factor as it is the humiliation factor. That if you get dogged by some dude named Soggy Socks, you got to retire from the XFL. Maybe try the USFL.
Yeah. That's. I don't even know if I want to do an episode on the USFL. If I'm being honest, I feel like that besides the Maulers, we can maybe talk about the Pittsburgh Maulers. I feel like they're kind of 2% milk versions of the XFL jerseys, but it might be my opinion. And then other honorable mention, I got the DC Defenders. Okay, so this is the new.
The story.
Yes. This is the new version. If you look closely at the helmets, you can't really tell in the picture that I have here. They have kind of like a white snow camo thing going on the helmets. It's kind of sick. The story, I had to put a Defenders jersey on here because the iteration of the XFL that came out in 2019, I went to a DC Defenders game when I lived in DC.
I'm so mad this is the first I'm hearing of this.
It was electrifying. When I say it
had to be
one of my favorite sporting events I've been to, I mean it. It was a combination of being hype, ridiculous, hilarious. It took like all the elements that you love of going to like a college football game, right? Like the rowdiness. Add in like the bleacher seats of like Wrigley, where it's just nonsense going on out there.
Dude, I would love to meet the people who like consistently tailgate for XFL games and shit. I feel like they're a good time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the first DC Defenders game ever. I'm pretty sure that's the one that we went to. It was like the opening game at Audi Field.
That's crazy, dude.
And so there were literally it was kids like right out of college like us, like anywhere between like 23 and 30, right? That was like the demographic that was there. And they had the whole terrace. It was just like bars. They just had people were just going up getting beers, and they had a cup snake going up the whole. I forget what.
Hell
it was called.
Yes!
It was the Legion of, not the Legion of Boom. It was something to do. It's some Legion that was. It was the name of the fan section.
American Legion 214 or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. But it was the standing room section on the in the end zone where like all like the young people were sitting, and that's where we were. They were just cheap seats, and they had a cup snake going the whole way up, and then at one point people were just so the DC Defenders, I would say. It's kind of a tough name, but it's also kind of a generic name, right? Defenders is like, whatever.
Yeah, like the Commanders.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
People were literally just yelling, like there were guys just yelling the word defend. Like that's what defend. It was,
Defend.
dude. It was,
Yeah.
and that's all they would say. It was no other chance. It was nothing. It was just outrageous shit. It was, hilarious,
just
dude.
rogue defend.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
coming
dude.
from random parts of the
Yeah,
stadium, dude. Oh, I'm so jealous of you. That's an all-time sporting event for sure.
yeah, and like I didn't know, we didn't know what it would be like. We just like we had seen the 30 for 30, and we were like, yeah, let's just go to an XFL game. This ought to be something, you know.
Yeah.
And like it was pretty goddamn fun. I would have like had we stayed in DC and had the XFL kind of not gotten ruined by COVID, I would have gone back to a few games. Like it was a great fucking time. I would say
Yeah.
if we had ever have the opportunity, I would go like and do a vault video at an XFL game because it was just outrageous.
Well, who knows? Who knows, man?
Who
Could
knows?
happen.
All right, Benny, I had a lot of fun. That was the XFL
Dude,
was a good topic, dude.
This is a good one. This really got us flowing, I think.
Yeah,
So
dude.
I was happy with it, dude. And if anything, this almost made me like consider watching a full XFL game.
Mm-hmm.
I've tuned in for parts. I haven't watched one start to finish in my entire lifetime. Obviously, you were a
Yeah.
different story.
Yeah.
But this made me like almost want to follow it, I think. So we'll see, man. Who knows? Maybe I'll come on here with a Vipers jersey.
There we go.
You never know.
There we go. Well, they have some cool rules though. Like the kickoff rule is something that I think. Have you seen the kickoffs that they do?
Yes.
I think like health wise, it kind of makes sense. It's smart.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree.
And you.
What do you think about the 4-point conversions?
So I like that it's so out there. I enjoy that aspect of it. I don't know how long it's gonna stick around, but I enjoy it. What do you think about the onside kicks? Because have you seen this? So I like that idea because what was it? St. Louis came down from like 3 scores down or something and won the game.
That was
because they converted instead of an onside kick, it's a 4th and 15 that they can use once in the fourth quarter.
Which I do kind of like. I don't know how practical it is for like permanently moving forward, but I did like it, and they also benefited from those 4-point conversions and things like that. So it's like that's just like kind of absurd.
Yeah,
but like I think a 2-point conversion should stay a 2-point conversion. Now, if they made a safety worth 4 points, I would agree with that. Because I think that safeties are far more rare and they should be worth 4 points.
No, I agree.
That's my thing. Put me on the board for the XFL.
There might be something with that. I feel like I remember being at that game and they went for a 2-point conversion and they ran it back. Like the defense ran it back. I can't remember if it counted or not. I feel like they did something with it, but
I'm just continuously jealous that you went to this game. Dude, that's so awesome.
Dude, it was surprisingly like it was packed. Like I mean, it wasn't like it was Audi Field where like DC United plays, so it wasn't a full-size NFL stadium, but like there were 30,000 people there, easy. Like it was kind of hype. But anyway,
Good for the XFL, dude.
Yeah, I know. I kind of want to start tuning in just to see what's up. I want to see the double forward pass that I think they're allowed to do like once a game or something. I think they're allowed 2 forward passes.
Yeah, just like hitting a relay man in baseball. Just yeah, that's awesome.
All right, Benny, we're gonna close this one out. Next week we will not have an episode. We are not taking off though. We got
things in the works.
We got things in the works. In honor of our patron saint, Pete Weber. We're doing something with that. Few other things that we got in the mix. Obviously, we'll let guys know about that. But please subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend, all that stuff. Look us up on all platforms. Benny, you got anything else for the people?
Nope.
Sick. All right.
All right. Peace, guys.
Peace.